Hey sis, how you doing today? It's cold down here in the south. Let me get myself comfortable on this bed. It's cold down here. Weather has been tricky. We're gonna talk about Natalia. It's been on my mind. Really good. How about yourself? I've been alright. Been a delayed behind time though. Just a little bit. I look a little rough though, so y'all please excuse me those who even come on. It's one of these days, okay? It's a cold day, so I'm just in the bed, chilling, okay? Staying warm. Okay, it is too cold. It's too cold for all that. Ain't nobody got time. Nobody got time for that. I do want to talk about Natalia though. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen the series, sis? Because we definitely gonna talk about her today. I'm gonna try to do this probably like with these. It's so much stuff that's coming out, but little stuff like this, it just shows the cycles of life. No, I haven't, but I remember watching that movie as a kid. Yeah, they do have a movie out too, a Lifetime movie. I think they did another movie too. Like it's like two versions of them. Acting it out with my cousin. Okay. Nah. Okay. Honey, I know what you mean. Yeah, these stories coming out, y'all. They definitely whew, significant messages, reminders, triggers. Yeah. But when you do get a chance to watch the series, it's a documentary. Um it's on Hulu. No, not Hulu. I seen it on HBO Max. That's what I watched it on. But as I was watching it though, getting the backstory of Natalia, and I want to know, is the little girl name an orphan Natalia? I gotta find out her name. It was just too much of a coincidence. But anyway, I was sitting there watching it. I watched it last week actually, and it's just still been on my brain since this week because I'm just like, a lot of people have been talking about it because she was a little girl that her parents, thought was a grown woman. I think it's more behind that, dealing with the parents, thinking that she was a grown woman. Because around this time, the moving orphan and all of that came out, you know. So I think the parents was a little skeptical because of the movie. So they pushed that objective onto Natalia. But I'm just gonna give just a little bit of backstory, just with her, just a little bit. As far as of course she was adopted, to the Barnetts. But Natalia had been in a children's home since birth, and she was adopted a couple times in Russia. But the guardians, the adopted parents, would bring her back. So I was like, that was kind of suspicious to me. But she was a little person. She is a little person. And, she was born in Russia. She was in a children's home since birth. Her mother gave up her rights because the doctors was telling her pretty much. Her name was Esther. The movie. Oh, okay. I've been trying to figure that shit out. I didn't even want to go watch the movie to see what the name was. I should have looked it up because I'm like, damn, that sounds so familiar. But yeah, okay. Esther. Her name was Esther. Okay, so her name was not Natalia. Okay. Because, girl, I've been like, wonder. You know, like, this shit is a little too much of a coincidence. But the storyline is definitely the storyline of Esther, you know, being adopted from Russia. The American parents soon was speculating that, you know, when things were starting to go left with Esther, they was like, this got to be an older woman, okay? They was already starting to speculate certain things because of certain situations that Esther was doing, especially the son. So it just kind of like, it was just too much of a coincidence with the story of orphaning dealing with Natalia. And I was just like, this shit is weird. But, you know, Natalia had a real rough upbringing, same as Esther in the movie. She had a real rough upbringing. It's not just, you know, through the adoption agencies, but even when she was in the children's home. That's what I'm feeling. That's exactly what I was feeling. I'm like, this is too much. I mean, because this is happening to a girl that's actually from Russia, adopted. Parents thought she was, after a few months of parents, the mother starts speculating that the child was an adult. Okay? So I'm like, damn, she don't watch the movies, so, you know. Or this movie is the same, you know, it's a storyline of Natalia. It was just too much of a coincidence. For me, anyway. Right, because the part when she want to shower herself. Right. Like, it was, yo. Yo, when you watch the documentary on Natalia, you're going to be like, yo, this shit is, it's too many connections to the movie and Natalia. Like, it's so many connections. But, you know, early on, Natalia was abandoned from everybody that, you know, she came in contact with as a kid. You know, the foster parents would take her back. It felt like, I don't know what their reasons of being, but it probably was, you know, too much for them to handle a bear. All right. I also feel like Natalia was probably more of a troubled, well, not troubled, but traumatized, you know, early on as a child. So a lot of the foster parents didn't know what to do. You know, she didn't fit in their storyline or their in their storyline dealing with their life, especially with the Barnetts. Okay, I'm not saying that the Barnetts didn't do anything to them because those parents were actually weird too. I believe they honestly did something to Natalia as well, especially the mother. The parents before them, the foster parents before them, I forgot their name. They want to say it start with a C, but that's who the Barnetts got her from. They also seemed a little skeptical too. A lot of times these foster parents, not all of them, but it is some foster parents out here that shouldn't be even fostering any kids at all. These children are already in foster care. They're already facing abandonment. They're already facing trauma. They're already facing, you know, just generational cycles, okay, that's been pushed onto them, okay, which mentally disturbs their mind, all right? And in Natalia's case, I believe this is what is the prime example, dealing with abandonment issues, dealing with the trauma, like a lot of us have dealt with in our lives, but a lot of us have came out of it and became to be standing, upstanding citizens, okay? I know I went through a lot as a kid, but I am not my past. I am not the trauma. I am not none of the pain that was projected onto me. I crawled myself up out of that, okay? Some people don't know how to do it, or some people just don't want to do it because they use it as sympathy. And I have seen people actually use their pain, their trauma, their stories, of abandonment, all of that for sympathy for people from people. They get a kick out of it. So when I was seeing Natalia's story, I was like, this is like, you know, the sympathy card was being played in Natalia's story as well. All right. Especially with this new documentary coming out. And, she's speaking. It's called Natalia Speaks if y'all want to look it up. But it's called Natalia Speaks. So she's supposed to be speaking her truth on what actually happened to her. Pieces, what's good? Yeah, the movie came out before the documentary. The movie did come out before the documentary. So the movie, I think, in the movie perspective, it was more so of the parents' experience with Natalia that was the origin, the main subject of the movie, the storyline. It was based off the parents' experiences. I don't think Natalia had really that much to do with the movie. If so, it wasn't in depth as it is in the documentary that has came out. All right. And if you look at the documentary, I'm a person that can read body language, even when someone speaks. Okay. I know when they're being honest or dishonest. I know when they're actually triggered, just all by their body language. So I was really studying her body language besides the foster dad that was actually like, he was really off, really off. The way he spoke, the way he acted, he was really off, which also made me feel like that he was also traumatized by the mother, the foster mother, which was his wife. All right. I believe she manipulated him a lot. I believe she was the one that controlled the relationship and everything in the house, down to the boys. So the mother has a lot to do with Natalia also, and her upbringing in their home. But before Natalia even got there, she was already mentally disturbed. So, getting with certain families really just add on to the issues that she was already dealing with at such a young age. Now, they got so bad that the parents end up putting Natalia in her own place and getting her age changed because they figured she was an older adult. She was older than the age that she was when they adopted her, because of the way she spoke, in their words, allegedly, the way she spoke and carried herself. But from a person who has been traumatized, that has been sexually abused, you do carry yourself in a mature way, no matter how old you are as a child. You do have a sense of maturity because of the violation that took place in your younger years. And so I know I was acting older than my age because of the sexual abuse that I had already endured as a younger child. And so a lot of people that met me, that were older than me would say, what, you too mature for your age. I would have thought you was this age because the way you talk and carry yourself. So the parents put their whole agenda out about Natalia. So they end up giving her own place. Okay. And at this time she was 8, y'all, 8 years old. So she really had to grow up really fast. And that happens a lot in a lot of cultures, a lot of communities, especially Black community. A lot of times when you're in a traumatic situation, or experiencing such violations, you do have to grow up. And abandonment is definitely a deep root. What a lot of children have to grow up fast because they're abandoned at such a young age. All right. So they have to learn how to do things that a parent should be teaching them how to do. All right, they have to learn on their own. They have to find their own path at such a young age, and I had to when I was younger too. So I could understand her abandonment issues. I can understand the trauma she went through, the sexual abuse. I can understand, I can relate. And a lot of people can relate to it. That's why a lot of people have so much sympathy for Natalia, even to today, even after the documentary has dropped. But when I watched the documentary and started reading her energy and started listening to all the people who adopted her and gave her back, okay, or adopted her out to another family, they didn't want to keep her. All right. So when I was seeing that pattern, I was like, something's up with Natalia. Of course, it's sad what happened to her since birth. It's sad to any person that has to endure so much like that at an early age. So I have sympathy for her for that. But when it becomes a pattern of your behavior or how you articulate in life, and people are, and these parents could have been the wrong parents for Natalia. You know, these parents could have also had some, troubling backgrounds too. All right. Which is why they probably was, adopting her out from home to home. All right. These people didn't want to deal with that type of responsibility, especially somebody who is disabled. A lot of times it's hard to get them to be adopted out. But those parents, they all had some hidden agendas as well. Okay? So I don't blame it all on Natalia. But what I do want to address is her patterns in each household that she went through. Okay? That she was adopted out to. All her issues that she had already endured with the abandonment and trauma and all of that, and from the foster care, from being born, her mother signing over her rights, all of that in a bubble, okay, is the way Natalia carries herself, or how she's articulating herself, okay? So when these families was like, enough is enough, they're giving her up and all of this, and it was some good families that actually bonded with Natalia, all right? But when it came to actually adopting her, they wasn't able to adopt her. But the ones who did, they were so quick to dismiss her, give her back, get rid of her. Okay? So I couldn't understand that. I know she's a kid at these times. And sometimes, when you're such at a young age, it's really hard to understand that a child that has went through so much. It is really hard to understand their mind, to try to love on them, to try to show them different because they've already endured so much trauma in their life. Okay? They've already endured so many issues, trust issues, disturbing situations that they've been through. So it's so hard to try to love on someone that has actually went through so much trauma. Okay? Peace, bro. What's good with you? Even with us as an adult, some adults are so traumatized still, even in their lives right now. Even, because of their upbringing. All right. It's hard for them to trust. It's hard for them to receive love. It's hard for them to communicate, express their emotions. It's just hard because they're being so dismantled all their lives. All right. By their upbringing. Okay. Okay, bro. I'm glad you came up, though. I'm glad you came in. All right. So a lot of people, even as adults, they still battle those issues, even with, relationships, dealing with relationships, whether it's with a spouse or with friends or family. They still are banking on that trauma. All right. So it's hard for them, and they have emotional outbreaks, just like Natalia does when she can't get her way. Okay. They use the sympathy card to play on people's consciousness to get what they want as well. And I've seen this not only with children, but I've seen this in adults. All right. So I feel like Natalia learned early on as a child how to manipulate people's emotions. All right. She's learned how to manipulate them with the stories, all right, of her background. Okay. Having people to feel sympathize for her, having people to feel, a sense of sadness, or, just want to shower her with love. The whole time Natalia is doing this, deeply inside, she's just seeking attention. The attention from whoever she can get it from. I know I was like that too. I would get attention from people that I felt like was just giving me attention. And it could be older men, and I was a younger girl. Okay? And these older men were giving me an attention, and I didn't understand even back then that these older men were sexually abusing me. All right? Even though it was consensual, but it was still a form of sexual abuse because I was still underage. All right? But because of the things that I went through early on, I allow those situations to play out in my life. All right? But now I'm a lot wiser than that. I see myself back then, and I'm like, damn, I put myself in a lot of situations that I didn't have to. I should have just spoke up, regardless of, if it wasn't family. Sometimes we can't go to our families and talk. But I should have just spoke out even early on with a lot of situations, and I wouldn't probably went down the path that I did. But I did. One thing I didn't use, though, is sympathy for attention. I would never tell anybody what happened to me. I was very close-mouthed about it. That was a secret for many years that I held in, about being, sexually abused, traumatized, emotionally abused, abandoned in certain forms. Those was a lot of things that I kept in. But just keeping those ends within me was the path that I still walked, because that was what was all inside of me. So that became my path. Okay. I think Natalia does need a form of counseling. I do think that she does need somebody that she can actually talk to. Someone that is actually going to correct her mind, evolve it from the trauma and things that she went through. Because she just out here playing on people's consciousness. Yes, I'm glad you got through it, sis. Yes, I am too, sis, because I was in a lot of awkward situations that I didn't even have to be in. All right. I was in a lot of them. I've sold my body too. I've did a lot of things just based off of my surroundings. It was within me. So that's the path that I was walking. But it took me to elevate. I actually went through counseling too. And realized that the more and more I was talking about it, it was good to get it out, but it wasn't a resolution because I was more emotional every time I talked about it. So I realized, it's good to talk about it, but I have to apply the actions of moving on and letting go. Because we can talk about trauma all the time and releasing it in a formation of speaking it out, but you completely have to allow yourself to let that go, because then you're able to grasp your power, and then you're able to shift the mind to the things that you want to do, the things that you dreamed of through your trauma. Okay, I dreamed of a lot of things through my trauma that I actually wanted. But my trauma was playing the role. I allowed the trauma to take over the seat. All right? So with Natalia, I feel like this is exactly what she's doing. She's using her trauma for clickbait, not clickbait, but for clout. Yeah. I feel like she's using her trauma for attention. All right. I feel like she's using all of that trauma to get people to sympathize for her because of she wants some money. Okay? At the root of it all, it's all about money. Okay? It's all about money. It has never been about healing for her. I don't feel like it has. And the reason why I say that is because in the documentary, she contradicts herself so much in the documentary. All right? Her body language was even completely disturbing to me for someone who has actually went through some real traumatic shit. Okay? Especially a lot of things that she's experienced. Okay? She, in a certain part of the documentary, her and the foster father are having a one-on-one, okay, conversation, okay, about what took place in the household and why he didn't save her and all of that. I'm going to say this because me and my sister was talking about this yesterday, that, yeah, he could have saved her. Yeah, he could have stopped it. And that's what Natalia was saying. But one thing for sure, for sure, if you're someone who is traumatized, who has been abused emotionally, who doesn't have the strength, the power to control your own mind, you're not going to be able to save anybody. Okay? All right? And what he wanted her to understand is we had the same monster. And I got that when he said it. You're right. Your wife controlled you, the children, and Natalia. All right? She abused Natalia. And I have to say, allegedly, because the shit is still open. But we know, okay? But you allegedly abused Natalia, okay? You allegedly had your sons abuse Natalia, all right? And you allegedly abused Natalia in front of your husband, okay? And he did nothing. And those are words that actually came out of his mouth. He did nothing. And the reason being because I believe he was so afraid of his wife, okay? He was so afraid of her. Not just on a physical aspect, but afraid of the fact that she would take everything from him, like his children. He stressed that a lot in the interview. Okay? That man is so traumatized and so disturbed, even by the shit that he allowed to happen to Natalia, that you can tell through his energy in the documentary. How he speaks and how he acts. And he does say he has autism. He has ADHD or some form of autism. I mean ADHD. ADHD and autism, from what I've learned, cycle on through mental health of having to take one of my family members there, okay, and understanding my own research dealing with abandonment, autism, and ADHD. The root to all of those situations is trauma. All right? Abuse. Okay? So these kids that actually do have ADHD, most likely they have endured some type of abuse or abandonment, or even the parent might not know how to articulate certain things to pass down to their children, so it mentally fucks their mind up. Okay, they don't have that understanding when it comes to certain parenting, or their parenting the way that they was raised up. But these children nowadays and today, that we have certain titles to certain diagnoses, especially the ADHD and the autism, psychiatrists will tell you the root to all of that shit is trauma, abuse, abandonment. Okay? So when I was seeing the foster father talking to Natalia, I was like, yeah, he was abused too. It might not have been physically, because it doesn't have to be just physical abuse. All right. But he was also endured the same shit in the household. Okay. All right. When people can't save you, it's because they can't save themselves. And if they can't save themselves, of course they can't save you and stop what's happening to you. All right. So Natalia can understand that. Her actions was so scripted for me. It was scripted. That whole documentary was so scripted to me. What did the mom do? The mom was actually very strict on Natalia. She was emotionally abusive, physically abusive. She didn't want to take up the responsibility with Natalia when she realized that Natalia didn't fit the narrative of her spotlight. Okay? Because the mom is supposed to be this well-known book writer. Okay? And she wasn't fitting in there. Her family, she didn't fit the criteria of the family. She was trying to use Natalia's story of her being disabled, okay, for clout. All right? Yes, the movie don't really touch on the mom. And there's a reason being behind that too. She definitely has some connections, okay? So it's a reason behind it too. But look at the documentary. It exposes a lot, not just from Natalia and the foster parent, which is the father, because the mother is not on there either, but from the neighbors, the people who actually connected to Natalia, giving their experiences with her. Okay, so yeah, she didn't fit in the narrative of the mom. The mom was actually trying to use Natalia as clout. What happened is Natalia learned how to use her own disability for clout the older she got. All right? And this is the thing that she's been playing out since she became of age, like, in her teens, to understand what she can do to get sympathy or to get things out of people. Okay? I felt like I said, Natalia's whole documentary, from her standpoint, was very scripted. Very scripted. Okay? She was very contradicting in this documentary. It was times when the foster father said some things to her. He was being, not funny in a bad way, but in funny as, yeah, we have to cheer up and understand what happened to us. He actually said a lot of shit that a lot of people ignored because the way his energy was, playing out. But he actually said a lot of shit. Okay? And it felt like people didn't want to pay attention to what the foster father was saying. Okay? Because of previous interviews that he did in the past going against Natalia. But you have to understand, he was still under the power of the wife. Okay? She was still connected to him financially. Okay? She still had some pull on him because she has his children. So he still had to talk against Natalia at certain points in certain interviews, okay, because of the manipulation of the wife. Now, one thing he standing on was Natalia did have a knife allegedly at their bed. In the Natalia story, she couldn't have did, any type of stabbing with the knife because she wouldn't be able to grip it, which is facts. What I was telling my sister yesterday, well, maybe she was sleepwalking, or maybe she was enraged, okay, because of what the mother was doing, so she was carrying weapons around in the house. She had weapons up under her bed. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I don't know what they're doing with the internet, but I guess I'm gonna have to move this way because my live stream was trying to end. But, he was very adamant about that. So he was like, that really did happen. Natalia was like, I don't believe it. I don't recall it happening. It was a lot of things that she didn't recall happen when even the neighbors were saying that she was doing certain things at such a young age. Okay. It was a lot of things that was happening that she said she don't recall. Lying. Lying to keep people in the sympathy. Okay. In that energy. All right, to feel sympathy for her, to feel bad for her. And her story is sad. Okay, she didn't have to go through the things that she went through. But when you become at an age when you know what's wrong and what's right, all right, and people are trying to actually give you the help that you need, but you're not taking it seriously. You're using this help to gain a sense of intelligence to use on people, okay, to mask that type of representation in front of people. All right, when I mean that this girl is actually a product of her surroundings, she truly is. This is ain't nothing I ain't never seen before because of her shade of skin. I've seen this in even a darker, color skin, households. I've seen this in my own family. Yes, in my own family, I have seen this play out. All right? But Natalia learned from the best. She learned from the cricket. And she uses this energy to manipulate people, including, okay, including in the documentary. Okay? She wanted the world to see what these people did to her, and it was messed up. But she didn't want to address anything that these people were saying that she was doing. They had multiple witnesses. All right? It's like I want to shame the devil, but I don't want to take the accountability of my decisions or what I put into that or what I did. When you're shaming the devil, you got to shame yourself too. You got to look at the shit that you did too. I was pointing the finger at so many people that did things to me. It wasn't getting me nowhere. It wasn't getting me nowhere, but people feeling sorry for me when I did speak out. All right? It wasn't getting me nowhere. I was still living in the energy of pointing the finger, still living in the energy of blaming, okay? Instead of taking my own accountability. Yes, people have heard my story. Now, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? What is your next step? All right? They also found out Natalia's real age. Because at 8 years old, those are foster parents. They illegally, through a doctor, changed her age. And I believe the mom, allegedly, this is my thought, I believe the mom was sleeping with the doctor. Okay? I believe she was. Because she was texting and showing body pics to multiple men. All right? Even tried to get Natalia, okay, in Natalia's words, allegedly, okay, tried to set her up with an older man. All right? And the older man also, he spoke up on that. The person that she tried to do, give Natalia to put makeup on her and all of that. But the mom was doing some behind the scene freaky shit. Okay? She was out there doing it with Tom, Dick, and Harry. Okay? While her husband is thinking, he has this woman that is committed to him, but she was also manipulating people too. All right? She manipulated the doctors to change the girl age. And I believe in my opinion, just allegedly my opinion, I believe the mom was actually had some type of relations with that doctor. Because every doctor before that was not trying to change her age. Every doctor before that was saying she's a young girl. But you finally found one doctor that was able to change it. When I mean the mom got connections, the mom got connections, okay? She got some kids connections. So Natalia learned from the best. She learned from her. All right? How to use her disability for clout. How to manipulate people to be on her side. Because the mom definitely did it a lot to the husband. Even though he knew it was wrong. What she was doing to Natalia. But she was so manipulating to him and controlled him, not only by, using the children as a weapon, as a lot of people do, use their children as weapons to get what they want, okay? Or for you to stand beside them, even if they wrong, okay? But she also used the Yanni as a weapon. She wasn't giving that man nothing. All right? She was controlling him with that too. All right? So the mom is the mastermind behind Natalia's, okay, ongoing situation, even though she had already endured a lot before she got to these people. I don't believe that Natalia is completely being honest because she loves the story of being abandoned. She loves the story of being mistreated. She loves the spotlight of the young girl whose age was changed and the parents thought she was an adult. She loves all these narratives. It has benefited her in her life. Not in the right way, but in the wrong way. Okay? She has gotten the wrong attention. All right? All the way up to the people who actually took Natalia in at the age of 9, which was the black guy and the white lady, that family, their couple. They actually took her in and started caring for her. They even learned how to put on. She had some people that was with her that was willing to put on and carry this narrative out so that she can get whatever she want in the spotlight. Even if it's using her story. Okay? To manipulate the masses, to get the sympathy card, to get what she wants, which is clout. Now, before this documentary and after the movie, I think it was a Lifetime movie, Natalia ended up going to Dr. Phil. All right? And everybody know with me, I know when you go to Dr. Phil, okay, that's more exploitation of yourself. And that's going to will in a lot more people to be on your side. Okay? All right? But she was with these people too at that time. But these people have learned, she found her family that was willing to do the things that not her godmother, but her foster mother was trying to get Natalia to do. To fit her narrative. Okay, Phil is just like the couch, the producer couch you go sit on, okay? That's gonna have your interest into Hollywood or to the elite world, right? Mm-hmm. Because he damn sure ain't helping nobody. He only helping you gain. All right? And pulling and tugging on people's hearts. I have not heard anything about Natalia going to therapy, to talk to anybody, a psychiatrist. I have not heard about it. So it doesn't look like it was a person to me that actually wants help. It actually looks like a person who is really just want to exploit their trauma, their abandonment issues, their pain to pull and tug on people's hearts. So when I was watching the documentary, I'm like, okay, she finally got her family that loves her. They want to take care of her. The kids even, love her. But what really stuck out when the kids was talking, one of the children was speaking of Natalia. That was a red flag for me. Red flag. Because at this age, Natalia is 9, 10 years old, maybe 11. When she was little. Okay? When the girl one of the siblings, of the family that's adopted her last, daughter was speaking about Natalia. It was something that was very disturbing to me that was a red flag. That also lets me know that this is a fucking stage. This is a play. Alright? This whole documentary is a play. But it has a lot of key gems in it if you pay attention and listen to the way these people talk and the shit that they say. But the little girl said that Natalia bit her when she was a baby. Now, at this age, Natalia was about 9 and 10. She knows better. Alright? Even the little girl remembers it. So it had to be traumatizing to that little girl at that age for her to still remember. Because when you're at like 2, maybe 3, okay, or 1, you don't barely remember anything. Alright? Unless it's somebody tell you, okay, or something traumatic happens. Because I don't remember a lot of things that happened to me at 2 or 3, okay, or maybe 1 years old, except one thing, because it was traumatic to me. All right, when I was that age. So it had to be so traumatic to that little girl that she still remembers that, and she brought it up in the interview. Yeah, she bit me when I was a baby. Why would you do that? I believe Natalia has a hidden mean streak behind all of this image, okay, of abandonment, all right, of people doing her wrong, okay. Behind that mask is a hidden anger, all right, that Natalia carries, and she plays it out in certain spots, okay. Some of the neighbors caught it, all right, when they thought she was an older woman and she was supposed to have been touching on one of the kids out there in outside inappropriately. But see, they thought she was an adult, but she was actually a child then. And so children are going to mimic what they are shown. All right? So she was only doing what she knew. She was only mimicking what was shown to her, what was done to her. So I felt bad for her around at that time, of that story, of the documentary, because she's only panhandling what people have gave her. But the neighborhood thought she was an adult because that's what they was told, and that's what Natalia was taught to tell them as well. So to them, it was disturbing. To them, they was like an adult molesting a child. She got to go. She got to get out the neighborhood. All right. She's running behind older men, trying to get their attention, trying to get them to do things to her. And I'm like, that's the sad part about it. At the age that she was playing out these roles of things that, of people that have done that, that was endured onto her. That was the sad part. But when Natalia became an adult or became an older teen, that's when you know wrong for right. That's when you want to do something different. Or sometimes in some people cases, they don't know what to do or don't know where to start because they don't have certain people in their corner to uplift them up out of that. So they still around the same generational curse, okay, cycle, and they're going round and round in the same shit because they don't have something different to show them different. All right. There was one lady that she did meet that was actually felt so bad for her before she got with the parents that she has now. And we're gonna talk about these parents, the reason why they really adopted her. Okay. When I say it's clout, it's clout. But it was one lady that actually felt bad for her because when she got kicked out of that place, from just, doing the things she was doing in the neighborhood, and the people thought she was an adult, so they was like, she got to go. She's out here, um, doing things to the children, and it's just not, it's not cool. All right, so they finally got her out that apartment complex. Her mom had to find her another spot. She ended up finding her another spot. At this age, I think Natalia was around about 9. So she ended up having this other place that she had to move into. And it was a lady that actually stayed there in them apartments that felt bad for her, realized that this can't be an adult. Somebody in their right damn mind knew that this cannot be an adult. Okay, the way she's acting, she's coming to my door asking for food, the food she was asking for. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, shit that we would give our kids. Just things like that in that nature. But, this one lady just knew that she was not an adult. Something was off. All right. And that's around the time that she ended up meeting the parents that she, went to Dr. Phil with, and the ones that actually legally adopted her at the age of 22. I think she was 22. Now, the reason they adopted her has nothing to do with the fact that Natalia wanted a family. Because at this point, Natalia is using whoever she can use to get what she wants. Has always, what I'm not going to say has always been about money, but it became a point where it was just about the money. Okay? When I mean that her foster mom, I can't think of her first name, but she's the Barnetts, taught her how to manipulate and use the crowd or use people. She used. Okay? She played on these people's consciousness too. But these people are not too innocent either. I feel like that they both was using each other. Okay? Natalia was using them and they was using her. Alright? So when it came to the point you were finding out her real age and she getting that, they decided to, they wanted to adopt her. She wanted them to adopt her. Okay? I believe that was the conversation that Natalia brought up to them. I don't believe it was nothing that they brought up to Natalia. But they adopted her because of the fact that she does have to have a guardian at all times because she cannot do things on her own. All right, so she definitely needs somebody to be a lifelong caretaker. Okay, to help her with the things that she cannot do. So I believe that's the reason why they adopted her. Allegedly, I'm gonna have to say allegedly, y'all, but I believe that's why they adopted her, allegedly, because all of those, her money, all of that would be, it would be switched over, okay, to them. All right, even though, Natalia was still in control of her money, but everything that was in the Barnett's, that was under the Barnett signature went to their, went under them. Okay, which came to, her having a guardian, to help her through life, her money, things like that. They was able to be over control of that. Okay, and I believe that's what Natalia wanted anyway. All right, I believe they actually had a conversation probably about Natalia. We can do this or whatever. That way you'll be able to get your own money. You'll be able to control your own money, even though we're over it. Okay. So when that documentary ended, it was supposed that it's so-called ended on good terms. Okay. That she was so happy and I'm with this family, only, was it 6 weeks? I think my sister was saying went by after adoption, of her being adopted at 22. That's the reason why they adopted her. It has nothing to do with the family. It has everything to do with money. Okay? But after that happened, 6 weeks later, Natalia and them fell out. And this is what is, I guess, the part 3 is going to pick up on. Dealing with that family that adopted her to, help her financially. With her finances. You having everything in their name so she can be able to have some type of control over her money. Because those people still had control over her money at first. The Barnetts. But when that shit ended like that, I said, I can't think of the father. I can't think of the damn name, but the foster father, which is the one of the Barnett, his lawyer was saying a lot of things that a lot of people ignored. That was dealing with Natalia, especially these families. It's like, if you're placing so many families and you going from, and we know this with even with experience with people, okay, it didn't even have to be no adoption. But if somebody is around you and they have been around other people and all of these other people have disowned them, that's when you have to take some steps back and look at yourself. What am I doing wrong? Alright? Now, at the early ages, I'm not going to count that with Natalia because she was a child. But when she became of age and she was going from here to there, alright? You have to kind of take some steps back and look at yourself. Alright? Even as a young child, because the lawyer said that as a young child, something was already off. Okay? Something was completely off. She done went from this family to that family to that family to that family. The only family that didn't give her up was the Barnetts. Okay? Because remember, the mother only got Natalia for clout. To fit her narrative, her image. And when it didn't work out, instead of getting rid of her, they put her in her own place so they can keep the funds rolling. Okay? Alright? So they can get that spotlight connecting to Natalia. But you have to think, damn, what's really going on with Natalia? Why is it that every family that she has been with, or every person that she's connected to, like the neighbors and the children that she played with, all of them have said something is very disturbing dealing with Natalia. But Natalia don't want to look at that. She only wants to talk about the Barnetts and what they've done to her. And 9 out of 10 is because they got video images or evidence of what the mom was doing. Okay? So she can really wheel that story. Because they have video footages of it. Alright? They have confessions. Alright? So she can really wheel that story. She can really wheel it. But all of these other families, alright, knew something was completely off. Alright? And when you have an energy so disturbing inside of you, even at such a young age, people can pick that up. Alright? People can realize that, oh, this is going to be a long road here. Ooh, this is going to be stressful. This is going to be, whew, okay? So a lot of people didn't want to deal with it. Okay? And I've never seen her get any type of psychiatrist help. I never did. Except the one time that they did show in the documentary. But She should have been getting that long time ago. Long time ago. A long time ago. I think the whole psychiatrist bullshit only came up because of the documentary. I don't believe that this girl has been getting psychiatric help for a long time. I don't believe it. It fitted her narrative to manipulate the masses. Okay? And it's sick and it's sad and it's crazy that people will use their own terms of endearment, trauma and all of that, just to manipulate people to get what they want. And when those people realize, oh, after they adopted her, oh no. They start seeing things they didn't, I guess, expect to see. Or it was just even more easier for them to speak out now. 9 out of 10, I bet you it has something to do with money. I bet you. And 9 out of 10, I bet you it has everything to do with what Natalia wants to do. And all they was trying to do, pretty much, okay, was trying to be the best entrance for Natalia. But they also had, like I said, their own hidden agenda too. Alright? But yeah, that's really what I wanted to talk to y'all about, because it's been really a big hit in the vlogs, just on social media, because it just came out a couple weeks ago. There's a part 1 and part 2, so make sure you watch both parts of the documentary. It's on, I think I said it earlier, HBO Max is where I watched it, and they have a part 1 and part 2, and it's definitely going to be a part 3. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more about Natalia. But this is my opinion. This is how I feel because of the experiences that I've already dealt with people who've actually been traumatized and abused and abandoned, and how they use that and flip it to benefit them. This is no different. The story's no different. It's no different. I don't feel that Natalia is doing this for her best interest. I mean, to heal, okay? I don't believe that whole sit down was for her to heal and let go. This is all clout based, okay? To be televised off of her pain, her term of endearment, her trauma, okay? Her abandonment issues, and keywords of dealing with Russia, okay? The story is just too much coincidence. Too much of a coincidence dealing with orphan. Too much. Too much. But I don't sympathize for her no more. I only sympathize with what she endured when she was younger, and she didn't have to go through that. But as an adult and as a teenager that she was, and an adult, I don't sympathize. It is what it is. Your story has made headlines again, okay? Because of the parents being indicted. The foster parents, not the ones she got now, but the Barnetts, being indicted behind child neglect. Okay? And when that came out, it was an issue over her age. Okay? Natalia made a lot of money off this documentary. Alright? As what she wanted. She used it, okay, to manipulate what she wanted. And that's the money. It's always been, I keep saying it's always, but lately when she got with these parents, the ones that she's with, the ones who adopted her at 22, it was about money. Because before that, she was a young child, very young, 8 and down. Okay, so she didn't understand. Alright, she was just doing the best she could as a child. Alright, but she was acting out the parts of what had already been endured on her. So I feel bad for her on that. I definitely feel bad that she had to go through the things that she went through. But now that you're at an age, and when you got with these people and they was so-called giving you all the love, and this dude's supposed to be a pastor too, y'all. So they giving you all the love and the praise, and y'all praying and doing all of this, only for y'all to fall out over the money. Dealing with this documentary, all right, and dealing with your benefits, all right. All right, so that's what I really want to talk about. When I was talking about from abandonment to the Pretty Little Liars, because I know a lot of people who abandon, and they are very good liars, very good liars. I know a lot of people like that. I know a lot of people. Hell, I got family members that's like that. They was abandoned, but they're liars too, and they manipulate their damn trauma, okay, to get you to be on their side or to get what they want. And a lot of people don't see it because all they can do is relate and sympathize. You got to go beyond all of that. You got to go beyond it, especially when a person is of age of understanding wrong and right. All right? Especially when that person has been put in a space to understand what's wrong and right. Because the lady that was staying in the apartments, the last apartments that she stayed in, was very inspirational for her. All right, so she did get to see a different side of things, but it was all about the get back. Okay? It has always been about the get back. All right? Whether it's using my trauma for clout, exposing you but not exposing myself. So all of these people just lying on you, Natalia. All of these people's experience with you is just wrong. See, I think like that. I don't fall for the bullshit or the okie doke of what people tell me. I don't fall for just that one side of that story. I want the whole damn book. Alright? I want the whole book. I don't want no surprises in the end. Because when I do get a surprise about somebody at the end, because I only got that one-sided story, and realize that your story ain't adding the fuck up, that's when I want to deal with you. You not being honest with yourself, and your damn show ain't being honest with me. Alright? And that damn therapist is fake too. That bitch ain't helping her either. She fake. She was all for camera. It was all for camera. What I would love to have seen, what a lot of people do, or, they come up with an organization. They come up with a thing to try to help people because of what happened to them. I'm one of those people. Alright? I've had an organization where I wanted to help people because I wasn't able to do the things that I was able to do now with other people. So I wanted to give back. I do that now today when I talk about my trauma and can self-relate to other people to help build them up. Alright? Not control or use or manipulate that shit on people, but help build them up. Alright? I don't see anything positive coming out of this shit but her gaining money. Alright? That's all I see. So when you're able to be honest with yourself and tell the truth, Natalia, I mean, we understand your past. We ain't going that far back. But understand the shit that you also played into too. Alright? Understand that you was young. She did understand that she was doing things that people was doing when she was younger. When she was younger, she understood that. but you using it to your best advantage. You got most of the world thinking, oh my God, these people, why did they do this to this poor girl? When this poor girl grew up and was doing the same shit to people. You didn't break the change. You didn't break the chain. You didn't change the cycle. You're still doing the same shit that the Barnetts did to you, to other people. There's no win in this. You telling your story ain't shit. Because you ain't fessing up to none of the shit you done. Tell the people that, just be honest with yourself. Yeah, I use my emotions. I use my abandonment for a clout. Yeah, a lot of people do that. They do. You ain't the only person. It's a lot of people that do it. The only reason why you're being mostly sympathized is because you're on TV. All right? So yeah, I was, when I watched that documentary, yeah, I was like, well, this bitch lying. I'm sorry. She lied. She's holding back a lot of information. She don't want to take accountability. All right? She don't want to understand. You actually became your foster mother. And it's sad. So if you was with a real psychiatrist, that would have been part of your roots. Okay? Not just the fact that, that would have been part of the root issues, none other than just, her being from Russia. And she also, like I said, she contradicted herself a lot, which is how I can detect a liar. You contradicted yourself so much. That's how I can detect a liar. You said you didn't know what happened to you at the foster place in Russia, only to tell us what happened to you in the foster place. So while everybody was so confused on the foster dad and his contradictions and his stories, Natalia had a bunch of them shits too. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. But yeah, if y'all haven't watched it, check it out. But understand, y'all, it's a lot of people that do this shit. Pastors do it too. Teachers. I mean, people, parents, they, a lot of people do this. They use their inner trauma to manipulate people. And those are the type of people I stay away from. They drain your fucking energy. I ain't got time for all of that. I don't have the time for all of that. No. Because one thing that I realized when I woke up from the nightmare that I was enduring with being, physically abused, emotionally, okay? I realized that I could have changed something had I said this, had I did that. So it's not 100% the blame on the person that done it to me, but I damn sure blame myself too. I had to. Because I allowed the shit to keep going. You stayed in a whole neighborhood by yourself. And instead of you being real and being honest to somebody and saying, look, I'm this age, my parents is doing this, you carried out the same damn narrative. Yes, got to take accountability. You got to take accountability. Hell, I had to take accountability. And when you take accountability, that's when you actually grow from it. That's when you actually want to change. That's when you actually realize, oh, damn. Because you could tell she couldn't understand the fact that her and her foster father had the same damn monster. How could you get to have the same monster? You was an adult. Well, adults emotionally abused too. They get physically abused too. They get financially abused too. All right? And a lot of women do use their children for For they use their children against the fathers. Oh, you don't want to be with me? You can't see your children. Alright? Oh, you don't agree with me? Well, I'm taking the kids. They would use their children as pawns. And he just happened to be a father that actually wanted to be around his children. So he endured the same well, ain't the same, but he endured the abuse just to be there. So he couldn't take it no longer. Question, because I haven't yet. Was she taking meds and stuff, sis? If she was taking some type of medication, it probably had something to do with her disability. But as far as mentally, no. And the girl you probably talking about old girl. I'm gonna talk about her too. Okay? Gypsy Rose. Oh, we gonna talk about her too one day. Okay? Because I got a lot of shit to say about her too. Because a lot of people, whoo, boy, they on the Gypsy Road train, baby. And I said this last year in my year to 8 video. A lot of people gonna be massively manipulated behind a lot of shit that's about to surface. Storylines, old storylines. You about to be re-reeled into this bullshit. If your mind is not strong to look beyond all of that bullshit narratives, okay? But we're going to talk about Gypsy Rose. I'm definitely getting her ass this week. Because, yeah, she's another one. I don't want the narrative of the woman looked at in such a way. I don't. Don't sympathize with a lot. You can sympathize with my story, but it ain't me. Don't stay into that. Because I have grew from that. Take my story as growth. Not pain. Okay? Not to sympathize with me. Not to feel bad for me, because I don't want you to feel bad for me. Hell, I did that a lot on my own. I don't need nobody to feel bad for me. I want people to see the growth. And see, when I went through all of that shit, I turned a leaf to be a positive image for people to grow from their trauma. I don't see that shit with Natalia. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We gonna talk about her. I'm gonna get to her this week. Because, baby, she definitely is a gypsy. Okay? With the black rose. Because I definitely ain't the red rose. But, the red dealing with the root. We can use that too. But she definitely was a piece of work. Okay? But it also shows, too, how she was manipulated. And she used those same tactics to get what she wanted. Okay? Same thing with Natalia. She was manipulated and she was mistreated and misused for people own clout. Their own narratives to fit in their own lifestyle. That she learned that shit and she's playing it out today. And if people don't wake up and realize that this girl has not completely been honest with herself, then you're just gonna fall victim to the bullshit. And that's you allowing yourself to be victim to her trauma. I feel bad for the little girl that was Natalia. I don't feel bad for the adult Natalia. Alright? But yeah, y'all check it out. I just wanted to put that out there because this shit was weighing heavy on me today. And I've been wanting to talk about it because I'm like, boy, people still... This energy is going to be strong this year, dealing with manipulation. It's going to be very strong this year. And you just got to be out the way. You just got to be the one on the outside looking in, okay? And you can't allow the energy to get you all worked up and put into this victimized ass energy where it cause you to have a setback. If they're not using that trauma to grow only for clout, stay out the way. You can watch it, be entertained, and see the flaws in the bullshit, but stay out the way. Because there's going to be more stories to come that people are going to be using for clout, dealing with their own demises. So you just got to stay out the way. You just got to stay out the way. But yeah, I'm going to go in here, y'all. I guess I'm going to eat something. We got plenty of leftovers, baby. So I'm going to go ahead and eat, get myself together. But I just wanted to drop that in on y'all. How people abandonment issues and how they have it. And they become fucking full-term liars, yo. Full-term liars. They be using that mask of abandonment to play. You know what I mean? To orchestrate bigger plays and, you know, manipulate people's minds and their consciousness and pull and tug on their hearts and shit. You just got to be careful with those type of people. Because the world is full of them. But yeah, y'all. I will be back sometime this week. And we will be talking about Gypsy too. And it's some more shit about Matthew and Savannah. I'm going to get to it too. But as always, stay clear minded, okay? Have your conscience always clear so you can see and think clearly. All right? Because this is what's going to carry you through it all. With a clear conscience, okay? And being honest with yourself. But as always, y'all, love, peace, and oneness. And I will talk to y'all on the next video. Peace. I always do this. Bye, y'all.